There was something rather inspiring earlier this month about the collective voice of the transgender community being heard above the roar of the millions of Hollywood dollars swirling around Scarlett Johansson's new film Rub and Tug. Johansson had been confirmed to play transgender man and crime kingpin Dante Tex Jill. A rare trans role once again lost to a cisgender actor, and the community was not happy. Initially, Johansson's spokesperson responded flippantly to her detractors, stating that they can be directed to Jeffrey Tambor, Jared Leto and Felicity Huffman's reps for comment, all these being cisgender actors who have won awards for their portrayal of trans characters. Johansson's disregard not only for the perceived appropriation of one of our roles but for our dismay at once again being overlooked during the casting process added fuel to an already stoked fire. Furore ensued. Scarlett Johansson responds to backlash over transgender casting. A withdrawal from the role quickly followed, to great fanfare from trans actors and activists everywhere. Clearly Johansson had no idea of the sheer force and determination of our frankly fed-up little community. Our beef was not only with her decision to play the role, but also with its implicit reinforcement of the notion that trans men are simply women in men's clothes and thereby trans women are feminine men in drag, misconceptions which often threaten our lives. Whatever the outcome for Rub and Tug, a film which may now not be made, there is no clear solution to the ongoing casting debate. As a transgender actor myself, I am of course eager to see trans roles being offered to us more readily, with trans actors being the first port of call. These parts are so painy few that it does feel that we deserve that. Even with that opportunity, the hurdles are considerable. When auditioning for a trans role I am often told that I don't look transgender enough. Those roles then frequently go to a trans woman. Jared Leto in Dallas Buyers Club app. Focus features when auditioning for a cisgender role I am often overlooked in favor of the cisgender actor. While roles for trans women are scarce, trans male parts are almost non-existent, amplifying the need for authenticity with Rub and Tug. Despite all of this, I believe it would be dangerous to decree that only a trans actor can play a trans role. Would that not play into the misconception that only a cisgender actor can play a cisgender role and only someone gay can play a gay role? What I would ask is that as a historically marginalized and overlooked group we should at least be afforded a foot in the casting room door. That said, as a writer and director I am also painfully aware of the pressures put upon filmmakers by the larger studios to cast a big name in lead roles. For my first film, Brace, 6 years ago I found I had no option but to cast a cisgender actor in a trans role, a decision which rankled despite his fine performance. Now, I would never cast anybody but a trans actor in a trans role, and have since built up a strong stable of transgender actors who I can call upon at any time, though none yet with the kind of star power that could carry a film to a big box office opening. Supergirl to get TV's first ever transgender superhero, while Scarlett Johansson's withdrawal from Rub and Tug was welcome. The future of the film is now uncertain, meaning the likelihood of one less trans story making it to the big screen. When you consider that there wasn't a single major studio release with a trans lead character in 2017, this does seem like a substantial loss. As the trans acting community continues to build itself, some positive steps from the film industry would go a long way to help. Assurances that trans actors will be auditioned for trans roles would be a start, as would involving trans people in such projects from their genesis, ensuring authenticity and inclusion. Another move towards industry equality would be trying as much as possible to cast transgender actors in supporting roles, where they would be afforded the opportunity to build their experience and profile. As the debate rages, my biggest fear is that the big players will begin to shy away from trans stories and characters. The last thing we want is a return to the days when we never saw our stories on screen and where young trans people like myself grew up feeling alone, hopeless and forgotten. Trans is not a trend, says Maxim as she gets ready for speech to MEPs. What is clear is that as with any marginalized group, our stories must be told authentically and fairly. Trans people remain one of the most misunderstood minorities in the world, attacked, vilified and mocked without good reason, and we desperately need those stories and representations to make people see that we are just like everyone else, crime kingpins or otherwise.